LoreWarrior Online. Clint 2C. Overview. When the SLDF left the Inner Sphere in 2784, they took with them several prototype Clints, each in their original configuration that carried the larger Armstrong Buster autocannon rather than the lighter cannon used in the mass-produced models. These prototypes went to storage in a Brian cache on Cersei, and there they languished throughout the Exodus Civil War. When Clan Snowraven needed to rebuild after the Wolverines' nuclear attack on their capital of Dera Dun, they claimed the prototypes and pressed them into service. Snowraven scientists worked to correct the stress problems on the mech's frame caused by carrying the heavier autocannon, and by 2830 had transformed the poorly regarded prototype into a well-armed recon mech. Capabilities. The Raven's key modification was replacing the large Pitman 240 fusion engine with a locally produced Type 81. While it offered the same output as the Pitman, the Type 81 was much lighter, allowing technicians to reinforce the arm and shoulder skeleton that repeatedly failed on the prototypes. Additional spare mass was used to increase the armor to 7 tons and the ammunition capacity to 4 tons. During the Golden Century, the design was further modified, replacing the Armstrong Buster cannon with a COV LB-10X that allowed selectable ammunition loads, and further upgrading the lasers to extended range variants. All other systems remained as in the original Andron Industries model, and many retained their SLDF designations. Ironically, in this age of modern technology, the Clint 2C still uses the original Sloan 220 lockover targeting and tracking system. Deployment. Clan Snowraven used the Clint 2C in many of its clashes with other clans during the Golden Century, the most notable being the defense of the Hellgate agrodomes in 2897. Though the speed and maneuverability of the Clint 2C provided the Ravens with a major advantage, the Ravens' battlefield inexperience would cost them the fight, prompting the clan to abandon the mining colony to the Steel Vipers only 2 years later. With the Raven acquisition of Omnimech technology, many of their second-line mechs were relegated to rear echelon duty, including the Clint 2C. The Ravens chose to follow a policy of quality rather than quantity, and by the late 30th century, they were faced with the choice of either decommissioning or mothballing this venerable design. The Blood Spirits' offer in 2977 to trade several of their warships for the Snowraven mech surplus came at a particularly good time. Along with many other older designs, most of the Clint 2Cs were transferred to the Spirits and became part of their Omicron galaxy. Following the destruction of several Blood Spirit galaxies in their battles with the Star Adders and Baroques, however, few Clints remained in Blood Spirit service. In 3052, the Snowravens would build the first new Clint 2C since production ceased in 2917, seeking to exploit the invading clan's need for newer equipment to replace their war losses. Clans Wolf and Ghostbear acquired the largest number of this design, trading resources from the Inner Sphere for manufacturing output. The Ravens have refused to trade the design to either the Steel Vipers or the Falcons because of their ongoing feuds. The Clint. Gotta love it, and unfortunately it never gets in any of the games. So the Clint 2C, mass 40 ton, chassis is the SR2830/B, power plant is the Type 81 Fusion 240XL, has a cruise speed of 65 and a max speed of 97 kph. Its jump jets are the Andron model JJ2, and its capacity is 180 meters. The armor is Forging C629/J. Its armament is a single Type 1 COV LB-10 autocannon and 2 Series 2D extended range medium lasers. Manufacturer is Clan Snowraven Industrial Complex Chi, and its communication system is the Ralden R1. Targeting and tracking, as it says, is the Sloan 220 lockover system. Stat-wise, this is a 696 medium, which isn't bad speed. It has 10 single heatsinks, and its armor is 9 on the head, 15 on the CT, 4 on the rear, 13 on the right and left torso with 4 on the rear, and it has 9 on the arms and 16 on the legs. The LB-10 is located in the right arm with 40 rounds in total. I'm assuming that would be able to be split between 20 and 20, both solid shot and cluster. Has an ER medium laser in the CT and an ER medium laser in the left torso, with jump jets in both legs and both side torsos. Great looking mech, and you can't go wrong. The original Clint was, in my opinion, one of the best looking mediums in Battletech, regardless of the fact that it really heavily reminds me of Wheeljack from Transformers because of the side bits. I always imagined it lighting up when the pilot would speak. It probably doesn't, but still, it's a cool idea. I do like the Clint. It is definitely one of my favourite mediums in Battletech across the eras. If I was asked what mech would I take in the medium class, there are many that I do like. Trust me, the Crab is my overall favourite, but damn, the Clint is just too fucking cool looking in my opinion. It's just straightforward, but simple. The Innisphere version with the AC5 and a pair of mediums, it's nice. It's a good, 15 points of damage in an alpha. It's not doing anything fancy, but it gets the fucking job done. And the Clint 2C here, the Snow Ravens, they didn't mess around too much. They kept it with the AC10 originally and moved it up to an LB model, a couple of ER mediums. It's still going to be kicking ass and looking good doing it. Physically, it didn't change. Hell, it's even got fucking ammo pouches on its chest now, left and right torso. Look at those things. You imagine it pulls out all kinds of chocolate bars and spare ammo and stuff just slatting in the back of the gun somehow. It's just that damn cool. Can't go wrong with the Clint 2C. Can't go wrong with the Clint. Why? I do stress this. Why do we not have the Clint in MechWarrior Online, MechWarrior 5? Where the fuck is it? The Clint isn't even in Living Legends. People who design these things, get your fucking shit together. We need the Clint. It's a good 40-tonner. There aren't enough 40-tonners in MechWarrior games over the years. It's just this abandoned weight class. There's so many good 40-ton mechs out there. And if you look at your metrics, there have been periods where people were really, running those 40-tonners and doing good stuff in games like MechWarrior Online with them. So, they're not something to look down upon. And on the table, this thing is pretty decent. 15 CT armor gives it plenty to stand up to, at least a half-decent fight for a while before it has to retreat. Good amount of armor on the side torsos. I mean, yeah, on the back, it's always going to be a problem, but you're always trying not to get shot in the back. So, a more heavily armored design on the rear would definitely be an odd choice. It's got plenty of protection on the legs, which is strange considering I would definitely put more in the arms. I generally always do fancy putting more armor on the arms than the legs. But, yeah, it's decently armored, decently armed, good amount of speed. It's a nice mix. It's a jack of all trades, granted. It doesn't do anything particularly special. I'm sure there's going to be detractors from the Clint, but those people are fucking wrong. The Clint's amazing. It's the same passion I feel for the Clint is the same there as I have for mechs like the Warhammer and the Awesome. You just can't go wrong with this thing. Damn it. I always imagine it just going like 59.99 to be exact, but then there's only a few people are going to understand that quote. But it's just good. It's a good mech. I like it. Want to see it in one of the games. Do it. Anyway, thanks for listening. Have a good one. Bye.